So how have you overcome those tough times when you only had $50 to put in and it was hard to push through? What have you done to?
I think since we just consider it one of our bills,
Okay.
it's just like, oh, it's just a bill. This is what we have to pay. And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just like, okay, this is, since we're just paying this bill every month, it's just, it's just something that's already set into our budget. We already know that this is what we're paying into.
Yeah, there's no question. And I do remember a time when we called Matt and we were gonna say, Matt, we can't do this because we weren't seeing. It was at the very beginning, so I wanted to point this out. At the very beginning, when we didn't have quite enough buildup to start paying off these debts, we were looking at our finances and going, "This is how much we put into the life insurance? No way! We could be doing this with it, or we could be doing that with it." And it was mostly for just wants, not needs, right? Like,
Yeah, my wife's shopping. Just kidding. I'm
no,
just kidding.
but like, I can't remember what it was at the time, but I just remember being like,
No,
we're gonna
it's
call
like,
Matt
no,
and tell him we
why-
cannot
it's like
invest
we-
this
we were
much
we were paying so much in bills. and
because
so-
we were putting it, but we just weren't seeing it work yet, right? And I remember
It wasn't
us.
enough in the cash. The
wasn't
cash
enough
value
yeah.
wasn't enough to pay off that first debt
Yes.
yet, and all it was acting as is just a
Money that-
savings account.
Yeah, and so we were seeing all this money go and go, but it wasn't. We weren't at the point where it was gonna actually pay the first debt. And I remember sitting together at our kitchen counter and we're like, we're gonna call Matt and we're gonna tell him we can't invest this much. We call him and he's like, hey, I was just gonna call you guys to let you know this and this and this, and he's talking about how, and this is the one you're gonna pay off, and we're like, really, already? He's like, yeah, you know, you guys have been working really hard. And we hung up and it felt like putting our tail between our legs going, oh, here we were gonna tell him we can't be putting this money in here, Matt, and blah blah. And then we have this conversation, and he's like, and by the way, it's just 2 more months, and then you're gonna be able to pay off this thing. And we're like, oh, you know, like,
It's
do you
working.
remember how we were like we love Matt and we respect him, but we're just gonna have to
But it's
tell
like,
him
why are we paying so
why are we
much
paying so
money?
much on this? And in the end,
Yeah.
we were put to shame a little bit. Like, if we had only realized, just hang in there, and you're gonna see how quickly you're gonna
so
start.
how did you actually get to the point where you knew that you had succeeded in what this is supposed to do for you?
Paying off that first debt.
Just
Paying
paying
off
the
that
first
first
one
debt.
was enough
And
to
knowing
let
that
you
we
know.
had cash too. You know what I mean? Paying off that first debt, and it was enough to go, okay, this is working. This is working. We didn't end up spending that money because something else came up. And then there's never been a looking back since.